What's going on, everybody? This is Robert with RobertEarlReed.com, and this is your place for character, cryptos, and cash flows. Greetings and salutations, Crypto Nation. That is the intro. Now for the info. Was looking at an article over on Cointelegraph once again, and it piqued my interest. I wanted to share it with you guys because I agree with some of the sentiment in the article. Let's jump right into it. Bitcoin's correction could well have shaken out potentially damaging investors. I think that might be a good thing. There have been a number of times in Bitcoin's history where people have thought that mainstream adoption had happened. However, the lead up to last December's $20,000 high saw Bitcoin hit some really big adoption milestones. Through through the memes and reports on mainstream news, Bitcoin was the word on everyone's lip, and it was even near the summit of Google's searches. This saw a new breed of investor entering the crypto community, but a dangerous one. Moneymakers. The hype surrounding Bitcoin was all aimed at the incredible growth that the digital currency had experienced since it began less than 10 years ago. People were unable to keep away from the chance to double, triple, and so on their money in a matter of weeks rather than years, as would be the case in normal investments. Everyone from pensioners to teenagers were joining the Bitcoin craze with the hopes of making some money off their investment. The actual technology or even the way it worked was hardly a priority. These dangerous views of Bitcoin were now propping up a value in the coin that was probably far too high as it smashed through the $1,000 barriers with ease through November and December. Guys, I completely agree with that. I actually did a post. I didn't even launch it just yet, but I did a post on that, and I was talking about how it's more of a shakeout, in that this may actually be a good thing because you got people who coming in with the dollar signs in their eyes, and they think that that's how cryptocurrency investing works, and it just doesn't work that way. It does work much the same way as traditional investments, although some of the gains and stuff can be a little faster, but some of the principles are actually the same. You just coming in and thinking it's just up and away is really not a good place to start when you get into the cryptocurrencies. You do need to know you need to know as much as you can about the technology behind it, if there's any utility, the dev teams behind it, what is the purpose of this coin? I mean, obviously on the outset, yes, it's a way for a company to raise money, similar to crowdfunding. We get that. However, you got to dig a little bit deeper so you can understand what it is that you're investing in, because some coins out there, they're garbage. Some of them are just absolutely garbage. There's nothing behind them. No dev team behind it. The white paper is trash, and people, are just throwing their money at things and not really researching it, and that can be very, very dangerous. And with that, with the craze and the buzz and all the hype and all the FOMO, it could inflate the market. So what we're seeing, in my opinion, is a correction. Let's continue. A sobering correction. Bitcoin, having been founded by and upon people who believe in the technology and the potential to be a disruptive force to challenge the banking industry, was now teetering on a pile of uneducated speculators. Exactly. People who were new to the scene were used to only upward trends and huge returns, yet they were not ready for the crash. Exactly. As the crash began and is still going on, slicing off more than half the value of Bitcoin, these same speculators have been flushed out of the system. The sell-off from such investors has played a big part in the fall of Bitcoin price, but it has shaken out more than just the so-called weak hands. Good riddance. It may sting at the moment for anyone who has decided to hang out despite being at a loss. But those who remain probably have more than a passing interest in the technology. The loss of the mass speculators could be just what Bitcoin needs. I have to say I agree, because the prices are more honest now. They're not as inflated. right now. Now, do I believe that Bitcoin will actually go back up? Yes, but I think it's going to go back up organically. Last year, people were buying up Bitcoin even with their credit cards and other forms of debt. While this is easily seen as a bad idea for the person doing it, it is also a danger for Bitcoin. There have been many financial crashes and bubbles in markets that have begun with people getting foolish in their buying and investing. This FOMO buying and hype have all the hallmarks of a bubble. Angela Walsh, a law professor at St. Mary's University in Texas, who studies cryptocurrency and financial stability, spoke to Vice about the speculative nature of Bitcoin and its potential to turn into a bubble if silly decisions keep flourishing. Some of the factors to consider when trying to find a potential bubble are already evident, according to Walsh. Quote, some of the hallmarks to me involve the FOMO idea, the fear of missing out and never being able to get in. People see other people making a lot of money and they just want in on it. The housing bubble is a good example of that. People thought another person would always want to buy their house from them at a higher price. A safer space. If this latest correction has indeed gotten rid of these types of investors who are now running scared and stung from a falling Bitcoin price, then all the better. The long-term prospects for Bitcoin are better off, even if the price is lower. Without such investors, again, this harks back to the dot-com bubble where the hype around such company caused it to pop. But once that bubble had popped, the ecosystem grew back bigger and better, as there is no saying that the internet and dot-com space are dead in 2018. I have to agree with the ideas in this article, which is the primary reason why I wanted to share it with you guys. There is a correction, but the correction was needed because we need to know the real value of the market. We need to get everything to revert back to the mean and get the real meat and potatoes of the market. When you have these people coming in and just say, hey, just invest this for me, just what should I buy or invest for me? I mean, that's not a smart market. Now, obviously, you have a lot of let's say less than honest people who take your money, or people who want to feel important and say, yeah, you should buy this, you should invest in this and this coin, that coin, and all that. But at the end of the day, it does still take due diligence. If we want to have a smart market, we got to make smart decisions. We got to do our research, and we have to take our investing seriously. And not enough people take it seriously. They think it's some sort of get rich quick scheme. This is a relatively new and young asset class, but it should be treated with respect and a bit of reverence as well, and not just the latest craze. If you believe that this technology has a future, then you would treat it as such and not something that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. It's still less than 10 years old overall, and there's a lot of potential, but a lot of things has to be in place. A lot of things has to take shape. This market is still developing, so there's going to be a lot of growing pains. But the people who are jumping in, with FOMO and stuff like that, then they're going to be negative Nancy's. They're going to be naysayers and say, hey, yeah, I invested, $10,000 and I lost all my money, so on and so forth. But hey, this correction, it really does, it really shakes some people up. And I kind of it goes back to the saying that Warren Buffett said about the stock market, and I am gonna butcher the quote, but I'm gonna try anyway. He just says that the stock market is a device for transferring the wealth of the impatient to the patient, something like that. But you get the idea, and that's the same thing that's gonna happen here in the cryptocurrency market. So this correction, I'm happy for it. I'm actually happy. So because for me, it's not a FOMO type thing. It's like, wow, I should have got it. And it went up to, $20,000, back in December 2017. I don't have to have that particular fear. And, hey, it's shaking out. It's gotten rid of a lot of people. A lot of people are selling off, But the question is Bitcoin going away? So that is the article, guys. Tell me what you think. You know what I think, but now I want to hear what you think. Put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that notification button. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, folks, conquer with cryptos.